So if you're new, I am Jennifer. I am the host of this program we called Continuing Education. It's an 8-week series. Tonight we're on week, I think we're on 6, stress, sleep, and emotions. So I love this week because I have a lot of experience with these 3 things. And I call myself the host because I have other people with us tonight who are also educators like myself, and they will chime in with their different experiences and expertises as well. So that will be fun. And if somebody has a testimony at the end, we definitely want to hear from you as well, because sometimes we kind of, as we start to use oils, we try something different. A good example of that is someone on our team recently discovered that rosemary is a great oil to use when you're feeling those migraine strength type of headaches. Who would have known? Let's see. I think somebody else too. Was it Hannah? You were like, you tried it too recently. And it seems to work pretty well. And actually, I'm kind of wondering where Lisa is. Does anybody know where Lisa is?
Lisa's not feeling well today, so she may not be joining us.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Okay, that's fine. I think we'll do just fine without her. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so I talked about chat. Okay, great. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get going. And actually, let me really quick just check to see where my laptop screen is right now. Okay, I want to make sure it's in the right spot. Has anybody accidentally shared their screen and it was like something embarrassing? Not that I have anything embarrassing, but you don't need to see like my inbox or anything. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about stress, sleep, and emotions. So basically, how to use oils for stress. We'll talk about all ages. How to use oils to get better sleep. Not necessarily more sleep, but in my case, I have experienced better sleep with the same amount of hours. And then how to use oils to support our emotions. So if you're feeling negative emotions, how do we use those oils to turn those into positive emotions? So let's take a quick inventory of where we're at. So on a scale of 1 to 10, and you guys can throw this in the chat box if you want, or hold up a finger so we know, how often are you aware of being stressed in your daily life? I would say 10 for me. Like, I am very aware that I have a stress or types of stresses every single day. I want to look at the chat really quick. Okay. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about the quality and the quantity of your sleep? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how frequently do your emotions feel difficult to manage appropriately? We're in kind of a really weird time right now. And so emotions are running very high for many people for many different reasons. So I want to kind of make sure we give stress and sleep its due, but I do want to talk about emotions as well tonight and give it plenty of time to discuss. Okay, so I'll give you, I lost my page, I went too fast. Okay, so to give you a little bit of science, you guys ready? This is my favorite topic. The hypothalamus gland in your brain is the tiny control center in your brain. When you're stressed out, it orders the brain to send out stress hormones, and cortisol is a stress hormone. Stress can be good and it can be bad. Have you guys ever been really excited and like something really good is going to happen? Like, that's also stress, and it releases the same stress hormone as if you did something really stressful that wasn't good, like anxiety or something. Now, this particular process that the brain does, it's designed to protect you. So if you were on a hike in the mountains and you came across a bear. Your body's stress response is going to dump the functions in your body that are not important to you at that time. So it's going to dump probably reasoning. When you're stressed, reasoning usually goes out the window, especially for kids. Sometimes it affects your digestive system. Little TMI, who's ever been really anxious for something and just could not stop going to the bathroom? That's a really good example of how the digestive system is impacted. What about the immune system? I would say stress is probably the #1 cause why people get colds and flus. Other than the fact that there is a bacteria and a virus floating around, but why does your body like actually get sick from it? It's probably stress. Medical science has often said that about 80% of all the reasons why people visit the ER is due to stress-related conditions. And then when you have continued, frequent, or prolonged stress, it brings devastating effects on physical and mental well-being for people who just can't get out of it. And I just want to say how important this is. Setting oils aside, there are other really amazing tools to help you deal with continued stress, and then just like the normal stresses of just like the current way that life is, like technology and the busyness of life. And those things are like self-care. Practicing gratitude by writing it down in a journal every day. I really believe gratitude is like the cure for everything. But sometimes it's really hard to do those things. So oils are a great way to like come alongside and help us develop more healthier ways of, going about our day. So symptoms of chronic stress are irritability. Who here gets irritable? I'll tell you the thing that really gets me going on irritability is, so I am the only parent in this house with 4 kids. And when I come home, after I've been gone for several hours, I come home and it's like everything's a mess. And I get so irritable because I realize, they can't listen to what I ask them to do and pick up their stuff. And it's like, how hard is it, right? Am I the only one that has that problem?
No.
No? Okay. I think actually the condition and the environment of our home is probably a huge reason why we become irritable. Anxiety and depression. And oftentimes they go together. So we'll talk a little bit about them. Headaches. Who has chronic headaches every day? Insomnia, or just really having trouble sleeping. A poor immune function. This was probably for me the #1 sign. I was always getting a cold. Every couple of months, I would be down for like 4 days, and it was horrible. And then increased blood pressure. At that point, your stress is so prolonged that it's affecting your cardiovascular system. So I want to really quick show you guys. I'm going to unshare really quick. There we go. And give me a second. I got to shut Facebook off because it's like dinging in my ears. Okay, there we go. So what I want to show you guys, you see this chart? I love this chart. I got this from a therapist who uses essential oils, and she created this amazing chart. If you ever want this, I think you can get it from aromatools.com or oillife.com. But it shows us the different parts of the brain, and there's a lot of research behind the essential oil constituents that affect the different parts of the brain. So if we're wanting some just basic stress support, the oils that you would want to use are bergamot, cinnamon, any citrus oil, okay, orange, clove, lavender, and rose. So already you could use On Guard, because that has cinnamon, citrus, and clove in it. Pretty awesome. And lavender shows a ton of research in its ability to reduce cortisol. Cortisol is that stress hormone. Now, let's say you don't have stress. Did you know that drinking a cup of coffee actually increases your cortisol for like 18 hours? That's a long time. So definitely get that lavender into your system. Having some sugar. I'm trying so hard every day. I'm like, gotta fight those sugar cravings. Sugar elevates your cortisol 80%. So if you're consuming sugar, you're drinking coffee, your cortisol's up. Okay, so even if you're not stressed, I hear from people all the time. They're like, oh, I'm not stressed. And I'm like, but you drink coffee? Yeah, that's usually gonna cause that. So being mindful of that is really important. So those oils are bergamot, cinnamon, any citrus oil, clove, lavender, and rose. And all of those support the central stress response system. Okay, so let's go back to share. Okay. I love this little stat they have at the bottom. I got to move this out of the way. Okay, so 70% of problems sleeping are related to psychophysiological issues. It's 15% environmental, and then 15% is medical. So environmental does play a role, and actually right now I kind of wonder if environmental is going up for a lot of people. But increased cortisol levels means melatonin levels will not be able to rise as they should to promote restful sleep. So this is why there are certain oils I do at night, about an hour before I go to bed. And Breathe is actually one of them, because Breathe is so good for just like normal, like congestion and breathing and respiratory, but it's also really good for anxiety. And I get nighttime anxiety because for some reason when I go to sleep, I start to think, and then I start to think about worst case scenario for all kinds of weird stuff. So I use Breathe because when I smell that smell, it triggers a response in my brain to go, okay, we're going to breathe. And I really encourage people to be like, just practice really good, healthy breathing at night before you go to bed. And that's going to help bring those cortisol levels down so that your melatonin levels can go up. Okay, so my nightly regimen is actually the same as this, which is Serenity Soft Gels. It calms the nervous system. You can take this any time of day. You don't have to take it at night. You could take it in the afternoon. Whatever time of day you find is the most stressful for you. I take Serenity Soft Gels an hour before I go to bed. It promotes healthy relaxation and sleep. I have noticed, and I started taking it when Sam was a brand new baby, and he's like, was my worst sleeper. I'd get 30 minutes here and there, maybe an hour. So I was starting to use Serenity Soft Gels, and I didn't at first because I thought, well, it's just going to make it hard for me to wake up so I could take care of him. It absolutely didn't. But what it did help me do is to feel rested when I didn't get enough sleep. So if you're only getting like 4 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep and you're waking up every morning like completely exhausted, try giving this a go. What's really awesome is when you take this, when you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep, you wake up feeling like a brand new person. And then Copaiba Soft Gels is gonna soothe those anxious feelings. So I take this one before bed as well. It also promotes homeostasis. Do you guys know what homeostasis is? Imagine your body as a scale. You know those old-fashioned scales you do weights and stuff on? And homeostasis is when that scale is even. There's the same amount of action going on both sides. Now, when that scale gets tipped because stress or we're not getting enough sleep or something, and that gets tipped, that's when homeostasis gets out of balance, and that's when we're more open to illness. And so that homeostasis is really, really important, and Copaiba helps with that. Okay, and then an alternate nightly regimen is Adaptive Soft Gels. It encourages relaxation, calms, and promotes positive feelings. I take this in the daytime. A lot of people find they get really, really tired. Does anybody have like any kind of testimony they want to share of taking Adaptive at night before they go to bed? Like, did it help you get better sleep? No?
I don't have an amazing test. It helps me sometimes go to sleep. I grab it sometimes when I can't go to sleep and I take it, and it does help me.
Good.
I don't take it every night though.
Okay. It's got a
I'm
GABA
taking it every
supplement.
day.
You
I
take
take it
during
during
the day?
Yeah, during the daytime. Helps keep my emotions more even.
Yeah.
I take it in the middle of the afternoon.
Perfect. I will say the adaptive soft gels is something that when it first came out, we had to play around with it a little bit to figure out like the best time of day to take it. And I remember that first when I started taking it, I was so tired all the time. But honestly, I kind of wonder if it was just my body coming down from the stress I was experiencing and helping me just like relax. And I don't know that I've felt that. A little bit of background on me: when adaptive soft gels were introduced, I was going through a huge change in my life with actually a lot of stress and like emotions all over. I was experiencing a lot of grief at the time. And so when I started taking the adaptive soft gels, it's almost like it just made my body go, slow down, slow down. And I got so much more sleep during that couple of times. And then eventually I got to a point where taking it during the day, I was just fine. No more energy issues, no more exhaustion. And so I actually take it to support the grief that I was feeling, to help me process the grief in a healthy way. But also because I was showing many symptoms and signs of PTSD at the same time, and it helped that to normalize as well. And then the biggest thing that I noticed was ADD. I have that. I've had it forever, and it really affects my self-esteem when it comes to learning and doing tasks and multitasking. And so while Intune has helped and Lifelong Vitality, adaptive was the thing that just got rid of it completely and just gave my brain what it needed for me to function normally. Hannah, did you have something to add?
No, I was trying to get the link and I hit the wrong button.
Oh, that's fine. I just didn't want to miss if you had something to throw in on that. Okay, so let me go back to screen share really quick. So, and another one is Yarrow Palm capsules, because it supports cellular health and supports the brain and the skin. So for those of you who are really wanting to get that anti-aging support and the cells that are more attached to the skin, the fingernails, then Yarrow Palm is really good. But because of the oils that are in it, it's actually really supportive for our entire immune system.
Jennifer,
Yes.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
With, you're talking about the, your 80, whatever. I've got a grandchild that's 11 years old and she gets very emotional. Now we've used the Intune and we've used Serenity. We've used so many different oils on her, and it just, we're not understanding why we're not getting any kind of results. Would the adaptive roll-on work for her?
Yeah, actually, my 10-year-old really struggles in that same way. So we use the adaptive that's not in the roller, just the straight, undiluted
Oil?
adaptive. We put it on the bottoms of her feet, and it helps her get to sleep at night.
She gets real emotional during the day. I mean,
Yeah.
she sits there like at school if someone corrects her, and it's almost like it's uncontrollable. She doesn't want to act that way because, it makes her look like she's a baby, because here she is in the 6th grade. And she just gets so emotional and just cries, and it's almost like she can't control it. And then, of course, then that makes it worse because then people make fun of her, because she's acting that way. So we've just been trying to figure out what we can do to help her.
Yeah, so I would definitely try the adaptive with her. Have you used it on her yet?
No, I didn't. I mean, I just, me just listening to you say what you said, that's what, so I went, I wonder.
If she can take a capsule, I would try the soft gels at night and then the oil throughout the day. And then as far as other oils that would support her, so we want to support her limbic system, actually. So inhaling oils is going to be really beneficial for her. But try lavender and lemon together.
Okay, now she's got one of those necklaces, and she also has a lava bracelet. So
Yeah.
would I put the adaptive on the bracelet?
Yeah,
along
I
with the
would do
lemon
that
and
with the adaptive, because it will. The thing is, a lot of these oils are kind of like citrus heavy, so they're not going to stay on something very well. But what you could do is put it on a cotton ball and stick that cotton ball in like a little like baggie or something, some sort of sealed container, and let her smell that throughout the day. But I would try lavender and lemon on a cotton ball, and then adaptive on another cotton ball, and put them in there together.
Okay, thank you.
What about instead of a baggie, you put them into like an empty with the label taken off pill capsule, pill bottle,
I thought of that, but I didn't know if the school would appreciate that.
or like a Tri-Ease bottle with a snap top lid.
Yes, that would be a great idea. So if you have an empty bottle of one of our soft gels, they have a lid you pop off, you could put them in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so here is a really good sleep blend that includes frankincense, vetiver, bergamot, and Roman chamomile. So what you do is you put 20 drops of each of these 4 oils into a roller bottle. So a roller bottle that looks like this. You can get empty ones from doTERRA, or when you empty out the ones that you have, just use ones that you have. I wouldn't even worry about even getting them all clean, because no matter what oil you put in there that's empty, it'll be fine. But you can put those on your feet, your big toe, heart, palms of hands, pillow, I mean, just real anywhere. One of the places that I roll oils on is right here in that part of the ear, that little crease. I love that spot for ears. There's some really good pressure points right there for sleep. And you could put these in a diffuser, 1 drop each if it's a small room. Bergamot is a natural sedative. It's my favorite for sleep, especially when you combine it with vetiver. Okay, so the mood matrix, I want to give this a little bit of credit because this was the original 4 oils that we used for our mood. And so this is for all ages. Serenity is for calming, placating. That word seems really weird, but it's actually really good. I have used it to placate many children, and also getting composure under control. In my house, I use more orange to get that open mind going for the kiddos, and then I introduce Serenity. So I love diffusing Serenity and orange together because orange is kind of like a mind-opening oil. It lets you go, okay, I'll give it a try. So if you have husbands that don't want to use oils, orange is the oil you want to be diffusing all the time because it makes them go, okay, I'll try it. And then Balance is your grounding oil. So this is the one that you would use if you are really stressed and logic has left your life at that point, and you are feeling very cluttered and chaotic and you can't think straight, or maybe you're just feeling really irritable. Balance is going to be your oil, okay? It's also really good for fear, and also when you're feeling like you need some consoling. And then Citrus Bliss is for when you need a pick-me-up, especially when you try this one with peppermint. Huge pick-me-up. Like, you don't even need caffeine if you do Citrus Bliss and peppermint, in Jennifer's opinion. It's invigorating, it's stimulating, it's motivating. So if you have all these things to do and all you want to do is sit on the couch and watch TV all day, Citrus Bliss might be the oil for you. And then Elevation is going to be inspiring, encouraging. It's going to cheer you up. It's the Joyful Blend, and it's also one of those oils I love putting in the diffuser with peppermint because it's encouraging, and then peppermint is an oil for like having like buoyancy in your mood. Okay, so before I go into the adaptive collection really quick, do I have any questions? Oh yeah, Sharita, 24-hour daylight. Oh my gosh. That actually.
Yeah, Jennifer, try to tell your kids to go to bed when it's not dark.
I know, right? It takes a minute. You have to wear them out big time during the day. I was hoping maybe my chart might give me a little bit of insight for this, but it's not. because I was thinking about what is it called when your brain needs to get back in the right rhythm for day night? Maybe we can do a little bit of research on that and find out what it takes to get that going again.
Sleep cycle?
It's your
Starts with a-
circadian rhythm.
There we go. Michelle
There we
said
go.
it.
Circadian rhythm.
There we are. Yeah, circadian.
I was going to say cicada. That was the word that was coming to my brain, but I knew that wasn't right. But yeah, like this is why I jokingly say like we should go camping every once in a while, because it kind of gets you back in that place of like going to bed when the sun goes down and getting up when the sun comes up. So if you don't have the sun, so I'm going to actually do a little bit of research on there because I'm really kind of curious. Okay, so what I want to do is just take a moment. There's a lot of us in here that's use adaptive, whether it's the roller, the soft gels, the oil that's not diluted. I want to just kind of take maybe 5 minutes and open it up to let some other people share their experience.
I just started using it, and I think it's kept me more even. My job is very stressful with a lot of people not being as kind as they could be.
That's a good way to put it.
And I believe it's helped. So it's only been like maybe 3 weeks, 2 or 3. I use the
Good.
soft gel in the morning, and I use the roller while I'm working. And then tonight, I read your thing before we started, and so I'm diffusing Adaptive and Wild Orange because I have both of those. So
Nice. Yeah, I really like the Adaptive. Well, I like everything diffused with orange. I just do it for every oil. But I think the Adaptive just really, it's a little bit stronger for me. So adding that orange to it just kind of takes that edge off.
So we kind of have a running joke in our family. Like whenever there's someone that's response is maybe not the best response, we're always like, okay, you adaptive. And we're like trying to get it. And like, we do like sneak rolls on people sometimes. Like you need this, whether you want it or not, you're getting adaptive on you. So we use it a lot around here.
You guys, we should do that in the areas of the country, get some oil people out there where people are in the streets really angry and just go like, oh, you got something on you. And really cheer some people up. Yeah, Adaptive will change that mood really, really quickly.
Get one of those mist guns, and walk around, those things that spray the mist on you, and just put the Adaptive in there and just spray it around everywhere you go.
Yeah, for sure. They have diffusers. I don't know exactly how they do it, but when we go to Salt Lake City for convention every year, they have these big machines in the room where they can diffuse oils into these massive rooms with thousands of people. And that's what we need out in the streets. That would be pretty cool. Does anybody have any kind of adaptive situation where they used it for any kind of mental health?
Yeah, me.
Go ahead, Susan.
So I'm a bereaved mother, and I've lost 2 children in the last 4 years, so life can be really tough. And part of the grieving process, you end up with a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic attacks. And a panic attack can come on simply because I've realized that I have to make dinner for the family, or I haven't done a load of laundry in a couple days, and it's all grief related. And I have stopped taking my prescription lorazepam that the doctor gave me because I've been taking Adaptive instead. And I will strongly state, please do not stop taking any prescription medication without speaking to your doctor before you do that. I have spoken to my doctor about it. He knows what I'm doing instead. But I found I take it in the middle of the afternoon, and I still get some panic attacks, and I find that I can feel them below the surface, but they don't come through. And I'm able to then use my coping skills to manage myself through that situation and not end up in this, curled up in a little ball in the corner or something.
Yeah. I'm glad you shared that testimony. We've talked extensively about the benefits of essential oils and the grief process. And I should say the process of going through grief, but yeah, and I love that you said about, making sure that you work with your therapist, because, for mental health, if you're on medication for something, you don't just want to just stop taking it. But I will say essential oils can help that medication work better because of how they help the cells function better. So it can just be a great partnership. And then as your doctor and you feel like maybe you can start, getting off of that, then for sure. Because I don't think very many doctors would want people to be on a continuous prescription cycle for those things, because those things do affect our normal brain functioning. But it's a case-by-case basis.
And they are often highly addictive. So you do want to, if you're using them, of course, you want to speak with your physician and use them with caution. And then if you're using something like the adaptive system, then you don't have those addictive properties in the essential oils or our capsules and soft gels.
Yeah, exactly. Great observation. I would just say, I think with the soft gels specifically, what makes it different than the oil is just that extra GABA supplement and how that helps. There's other oils that help support our body's normal GABA, and that's like frankincense is a really good one for that. So those are some good suggestions. All right, let me go back to, so the Adaptive Collection, just to clarify, it comes in a roll-on, which is this long one, and that actually has coconut oil in it. It's great. It's a little bit more mild applying to the skin. And then the one in the regular bottle, it's the blend without coconut oil. So this is what you would use for diffusing or maybe on the bottoms of the feet. It's a little strong, but I think it works great on the bottoms of the feet, especially for kids. We've used it to help my daughter get to sleep who has ADHD, and she actually will come ask for it. She's been very mindful. And then the Calming Blend capsules is the one with GABA in it. And you can take up to 2 a day, I believe. I think maybe even a little bit more. I can't remember what the bottle says, but as needed. Okay, so let's talk about some diffuser blend recipes. So we talked about Adaptive and Wild Orange. And I love Balance and Wild Orange. This is actually my favorite oil to diffuse Friday night. Work week's over. We're trying to get into the weekend and just be like calm, but also excited. So I like that one. For folks that really are struggling with, anxiety, I really love the Forgive, Balance, and Breathe mixture. And then if you're having trouble getting calm and settled, the Peace, Balance, and Vetiver mixture. And if you are needing to be uplifted, and if you want relaxing, the Citrus Bliss, Sandalwood, and Grapefruit and Elevation mixture. And you just add those to the diffuser. I wouldn't worry too much about getting that recipe just right. You can't really go wrong with that. Although I would say Sandalwood and Vetiver, I like a little less of those than the other ones because they're so heavy. So if you're wanting to really support your emotions, get better sleep, have less stress, this is a great combination of oils to use. Of course, if you think I don't really want the undiluted bottle of Adaptive, that's totally fine. Add in one of those other oils that piqued your interest, like Elevation or Citrus Bliss. I would say Wild Orange, Balance, and Copaiba, no negotiations. Those need to be used. In fact, Balance and Orange are on my top 5 daily essential oil list that I usually tell everybody to use, those 2 oils in that top 5. And then Copaiba, not only does it support your mood and your brain, but also your body and your pain. So if you struggle with chronic pain, or maybe you did too much that day and you need, your muscles are tired, that Copaiba is really good. Does anybody have a Copaiba testimony that they want to share?
My father lives by it. He loves it. He's will be 90 years old this year, and he's very active. And one time he went out to do the deck, and he said that the deck won. You know, that he fought with the deck trying to get it finished, and the deck won. And he came and he took the Copaiba and in the deep blue, and he said it took all the pain away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I used Copaiba and marjoram, and I rubbed it on my lower back because my back was out. I was having a lot of pain, and so I had put fractionated coconut oil with it, and then on top of that I slapped on some deep blue lotion thing, and I'm telling you, the pain went away almost instantly. It was really weird. It happened so fast. I was in a lot of, and it just went right away.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan of exercise because it's been so many years that I've really been on a good like routine for that. And I recently started getting better as it got warmer out. And then I was doing a garden. If you guys follow me on Facebook, you'll see that I've been doing a garden on the side of my house. And so I had to build garden beds and haul dirt and move rocks and dig holes. And I thought for sure, like my back would be screaming at me for, to go to bed and the next day, and I'd be really sore and stiff. But I really think the Copaiba made a difference for me. I didn't have any issues with that kind of pain other than just the normal like muscle soreness you get because you're using muscles you don't use very often. So yeah, Susan, definitely try using those. And just for the topical Copaiba and the topical deep blue, last summer I went to a place where they have all the roller coasters and stuff, and me and the kids were there from like 10 a.m. to like 10 o'clock at night walking. I was keeping up with these kids. And at the end of the day, the next day as I was walking into the grocery store, I noticed the muscles at the top of my calves were so sore, and it made me kind of limp a little. So I went home and I put Copaiba on one side and deep blue on the other. And can you guys guess which one actually worked better? It was the Copaiba. I was kind of surprised. So then I combined them and it even worked better than that. So. Okay, so let me go back to the screen share really quick because I wanted to talk a little bit more about this. Okay, so let's talk really quick what the sample wellness box is and what the heck is LRP. So LRP stands for Loyalty Rewards Program, and I absolutely love this program because a lot of people have said, doTERRA oils are a little bit more than other companies, but the LRP program is actually how the essential oils become more affordable and brings down that price point for us. So for those of us who are using the oils every day, we find that we need to order something every month, right? Or a lot of somethings every month, depending on what you're using. So when you order on the Loyalty Rewards Program, the very first benefit that you get is free shipping. So you pay for your shipping, but then the next month you'll see there's some points added to your order that you can redeem for free oils. So 1 point equals $1. So if you had 30 points sitting there that you can use, you could get something that's $30. So that's a really good way to save money on your oils. And then when you order at least 50 PV, then you're going to get rewards points on your products. So 50 PV, 10% would be 5 points. If the more you order, the more points that you get. And so the way this works is when you order this way, in the first 3 months that you do that, you're going to get 10% back. And then in the second 3 months, you're going to get 15% back. And then every 3 months, it just keeps going up and it taps out at the end of the year at 30%. So when I order $100 worth of essential oils, I'm getting 30% back. That's $30. Plus I'm getting my shipping, which is about $9. That's $39 back on 100 oil or $100. That's a pretty good deal. So that's why I'm a huge fan of Loyalty Rewards, to make sure that we get, more oils for our money. So I just wanted to share that really quick. And then every month they give us a free oil when we order 125 PV by the 15th. This month the oil was Naoli, which smells an awful lot like tea tree oil, but almost a little bit more magical in my opinion. And Sam is joining us. So that's what I wanted to share with you about loyalty rewards. So I do want to ask really quick. You're okay. I do want to ask really quick, who finds that they order the same stuff every month and what do you get?
I always have Lifelong Vitality in my box, and with that Lifelong Vitality, because it's an LRP kit, I get PB Assist for $20, I get Terrazyme for $20, and usually I am adding the Deep Blue Polyphenols also for $20, whereas normally those are all a lot more. And then I need Copaiba and Trizyme, Tri-Ease, sorry, and Serenity. And then if I can still afford it, I'll buy another oil. But that's usually right around, you know, and that's usually keeping everything right around the 125. But there's always at least one oil I also need. So, yep, I try to keep those in my box all the time.
Anyone else?
I'll go. I've also been doing the Lifelong Vitality every month. And I typically also get On Guard soft gels, On Guard Plus soft gels, if I can get them every month. I was doing the hand soap until I couldn't anymore. And I also usually take advantage of the, I've been getting another of the X Omegas, XE Omegas with my LLV, like the add-ons like Kim was talking about. I've been doing that. I actually started doing that for my daughter to start taking. And I started doing that before our last call. We were talking about skincare, and Susan shared about her grandson using it for like helping with his skin issues. And I was like, that's so funny, because I just had gotten it for my daughter just to take for health reasons. And she had been getting like some breakouts, you know, she's 13. So she started getting like, you know, a little bit of like acne-ish stuff going on. And I had been having her use like just the Virage cleanser and doing some like maybe some oils there, you know. And then you had shared that, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna see. It's actually helped kind of starting to clear up more, just taking those omegas, which is pretty cool. And then I was getting Terrazyme with my LLV before we couldn't get it anymore, so hopefully that'll come back. And sometimes I'll do the PB Assist as well. Right now I have kind of a stock, so I don't need to add that on every month, but I think those are like my standards. It's becoming, Calmer is becoming a standard. It's at least every other month, because my one daughter uses it every night and she's like almost out again. So that's become a standard in our house as well.
I love that. And I do just want to say, when we run out of stuff, it's usually because it's something that has to be made, like a blend or a supplement. And there's sometimes one ingredient in there that's been, wherever they source it, maybe there was a flood or fires or something that made it hard to source. And so that lowers our ability to get it. So the On Guard stuff got really popular in February and March, and so they're trying to still catch up from that. But if you're able to get an On Guard product in your cart, don't take it out, because they won't remove it from your cart, but you can't add it. So yeah. I've had On Guard soft gels in my cart. I finally got them in there. I won't take it out. I'll just get them every single month, because I don't want to not have those, because I really do enjoy them. They actually surprisingly help me with my allergies, because allergies, the root cause is your immune system and an overstimulated immune system. So that's why I use On Guard every day. Okay, so I want to switch gears a little bit. We've got about 20 or about 17. It's 8:17 for me at least. So we got about 10 to 15 minutes. I want to open up the floor for questions. So you may have a question that's about tonight's topic, or maybe it's a question about something else completely. We want to make sure that we can help answer that for you. Or if you have an amazing essential oil testimony that you can't wait to share with us, we want to definitely hear that as well.
I have a question. I sit so much because of my job. I'm on the computer, and it seems like the last few months, and I know about movement and exercise, but when you're 8 hours kind of mostly sitting, my legs will swell and ankles. Is there an oil that can assist with that? Or is it just an exercise and change of, how you're sitting and all that?
So you said your ankles and feet?
Yeah, my lower leg and down to my toes will frequently swell.
Okay.
And stay that way unless I can like lay on the floor and put my legs up in the air kind of thing, which I can't do while I'm working.
Well, and I will say that's something you should definitely do when you get home, because having your body up like that is really good for you. But you guys know what oil I'm going to suggest for her?
Aroma Touch.
Exactly. Have you ever tried the Aroma Touch blend?
No.
If you don't have it, add that to your list. Cypress is good, and add some peppermint to it, because cypress is actually an oil that's going to help with the stimulation of blood flow. So it's great for people who have neuropathy or tingling somewhere in their body or pain in an extremity, but also for swelling. I love Aroma Touch because it's a combination of all the oils that help with motion and flow.
Okay, and that's the name of one particular combination?
Yes, it's called
Or is
Aroma
it a
Touch.
set?
It's a blend.
Okay.
And it
Thank you.
smells amazing.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, just apply that and massage it. Add some coconut oil if you want it to last a little bit longer.
Okay.
I have a friend, well, a lady that I'm talking to now, who's, wanting to sign up, that she's gone to the doctor and found out that she's got the rheumatoid arthritis, and it's in her back, her hip, and her hands. She's a nurse.
Oh.
I've been trying to find a kit or something that she can buy, because they're wanting to do steroids, but she doesn't want to do that.
Right.
So I need to know what I can tell her to buy for that.
So that's a pretty big issue, and it's very uncomfortable and has a lot of components to it. So I would start with the foundational support of Lifelong Vitality. And then, of course, adding in some Deep Blue oil and Deep Blue rub.
What about the, what's the one that we've been talking about?
Copaiba?
Copaiba, but the one with that I was telling you about, my granddaughter, the
Adaptive.
Adaptive. Would she use that, or?
No, because it's going to help her, but it's not going to necessarily be as helpful for our age as some of the other things.
So she should get the Long Life Vitality Kit, the
Yes.
Deep Blue, and the Copaiba. Or
Yes,
however you say
and
it.
really, I would just start with Lifelong Vitality and do that for a month, see how she feels, and then add in something else. Because you know how you do all these things different that's like going to help you, and you never know what really helps. So you continue to do all these things. If we can find the one thing that helps the most, then we can invest in that.
Well, she's signing up, so I needed to find a kit that she would buy that would be the best kit for her to buy.
Yeah, I'd get the one with Lifelong Vitality.
Okay.
So
would it be like
The Healthy Habits Kit has the Deep Blue rub in it and the LOV, so that'd be a good one.
Which one? Which kit?
It's called the Healthy Habits Kit.
Okay. All right. I'll get her to get that one then. Because I was trying to tell her what she could get that would help her problem. I don't want to get her a lot of things that she's not gonna get a result, from. So I felt like if I got her something that she could start on it, and that would be something that she could continue with, because when you have the rheumatoid arthritis, that is something that's like you're gonna have to treat it. It's got into pretty much your body pretty good. And has anybody had any results of giving stuff and it gets better to where I can't say the word healed, but
yes, absolutely.
absolutely what? Yes, you have seen someone healed, or you can't say the word healed.
I would say the best way to look at it is when you start to support the body's ability to take care and assist its own healing process, then you find you don't need the things as much.
Because she had told me that she was going, she took those steroid shots. They had given her like a therapy thing to do for 1 week, and he wanted to see what her results were in a week. And she
Yeah.
was to go back today, and she went back. And so he said he wanted her to continue the steroids for 2 more weeks and then do something else. I forgot the name of the stuff, but she really don't want to do the steroids because of what it does to your bones.
Yeah, it's pretty hard on the body because what you're doing with steroids is you're resetting the inflammatory response. Because when you have things like RH and arthritis and autoimmune disease, your inflammatory response is so, I'm going to mute you for a second, Debbie. The inflammatory response has gotten so far out of control and it doesn't know how to stop itself. So the prednisone or the steroids helps to stop that cycle. So you guys remember, for those of you that were on the week that we talked about supplements, what's so special about Lifelong Vitality, specifically the Alpha CRS, to help stop that cycle?
Antioxidants?
Yeah, but there's something really specific in it. It's called COX-2 inhibitors. Do you guys remember me talking about COX-2 inhibitors? They're the enzyme. Well, COX-2 is the enzyme that starts the inflammatory response. So Alpha CRS has the inhibitors for that enzyme to stop that point of no return. Same as Celebrex. Celebrex has COX-2 inhibitors in it. That's how it works. So if we can do it naturally by inhibiting that particular enzyme reaction, then hopefully we won't have that unhealthy inflammatory response. But it does take time. And I will say, Lifelong Vitality is just one piece, but you also have to do some drastic diet changes as well. So like maybe in the first month, just give up one thing that's got sugar in it.
Yeah, she's given up sugar. So that was her first response, was to give up sugar. And so that's something that she has already started, as far as the sugar. But, she told me that she wanted to do what protocol that we had told her to do. She wasn't going to stop what the doctor said, but I didn't know if her taking the steroids along with the Lifelong Vitality would she be able to see the results? I mean, is she going to take the steroids?
No, she'll be fine. I mean, the steroids are going to cause a very quick response, but if she's already been on them once, it may not matter.
Okay.
I think, but yeah, that's what I would do for sure and see if that helps her feel better. But she may not see a huge difference right away, but then she might experience like a drop in pain level.
Well, I had made her a roll-on with Cyberfur, Wintergreen. Is that it? Yeah, not winter. Is it wintergreen?
That's one of the pain oils. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a book and I found an oil mixture roll-on, and I did her hand because she could not move her hand. The pain was so bad. And I went and I gave her a massage on the hand. But first I put it on there and I told her not to move for a minute and let it sit. And then I put a little bit more. And then I massaged her hand. She said, "I can't believe I'm letting you touch my hand." And,
nice.
So I left the roller there with her, and she was able to work the next day. So she's already seen, that's why she wants to sign up, because she has seen the results from just that roller bottle. And so
yeah. Siberian fir is a really good oil and wintergreen for pain, and it doesn't have that strong cooling sensation that Deep Blue does. Mm-hmm. But Deep Blue is better for when there's like a degeneration issue. So it's kind of like you could try them at different times of the day. So yeah, this is a great question. I hope that maybe that's able to help her. So I think Joni, did you have a hand up?
Well, you asked if anybody's been healed of that. I used to have RA, but I was healed. And I got it the same time that I had carpal tunnel. So I started drinking this, I can't remember the name. It was like these quart bottles of, it was some kind of bovine liquid.
Yes.
But it helped with the swelling, but I still wasn't healed. But it's just like, all I can say is that God healed me. So, and I really don't eat a lot of sugar. If I eat sugar, then I can kind of feel I feel in my joints like, oh, that's bad. So I can
Yeah,
have sugar every once in a while, but it's like I can't, but I was healed. So people can be healed,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason why we're careful with that is we don't want to say the essential oils healed or cured us, but they definitely assist the body,
Yeah.
just like drinking more water and eating better nutrition.
Could I say that On Guard, the only two things I was taking at first was frankincense, and On Guard assisted me in I had a yeast infection, and Nicole, I don't know if I mentioned before, but Nicole told me to take the just the On Guard and stuff, but it disappeared, the yeast infection. I never had to use any of that over-the-counter stuff or go to the doctor, and it assisted me completely.
It totally did. And that's because there's oils in it that are kind of antifungal. So
Yeah.
that's probably why it helped. A little other tip, if you're wanting like quick relief that's more soothing, you can use lavender and tea tree with some coconut oil and just kind of slather it on down there.
What is that again?
You can use, with some of the coconut oil, use some lavender and tea tree and just apply it.
Okay, thank you. I don't anticipate it because I take On Guard every day.
Yeah, probably not. So what I want to do is take one more question or one more comment, and then we're actually going to transition over to the same thing we do every week at the end of continuing education, a little business chat for those that are a little curious about what the business means and what that looks like. So for those that do want to stick around for that, make sure that you do. But let's take one more question or comment. Who's using TerraShield right now?
So I'm going to say something. I'm not
Okay.
using TerraShield, but
Okay.
when we started, I was feeling a little stressed. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and take my bedtime regimen. And because I felt a little extra stressed, I took 2 Serenity soft gels instead of 1. And man, it's better than Valium.
You're feeling pretty good right now, right? Yeah, you totally, 2 is acceptable.
It's good stuff, you guys. You need to give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool.
I think my favorite part is that it's not forcing anything, which is why it's, in my opinion, better than that stuff that creates change. It's just allowing my body to naturally handle the added stress of the day.
Yeah, for sure. And L-theanine is one of the main ingredients. It's an herb, and the brain loves that particular herb. So if you ever want to do some like research, go Google that ingredient online. You'll see some really cool things on how that serves your brain. So yeah, thanks for that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just kind of switch over to a little bit of a business chat. Who plans to stay on with us tonight? Do we have people that are gonna stick around? I see some. Okay. If you don't want to stick around, you won't hurt my feelings. We'll see you next week. We're going to be talking about women's health and hormones.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Take a deep breath. Let's get right into it. I love talking about the business because I do the business. I'm very passionate about it. So let me get my screen shared so you guys can see my notes as well. So tonight we're going to talk about building your pipeline. So I'll explain that a little bit more. One of the things that I really love about doTERRA, not only do they have amazing products and they do so many amazing things for the communities that we get the essential oils from, but they also have this really amazing opportunity for people to work with them to help improve their financial situation in life, and so that they can help people too. So I really love that they chose the model that they did for their business so that everybody can benefit from that. So what we have found in this business is that there are 3 types of people. The first person is someone who loves the essential oils. They use them every single day, and they use them in their home and on their family. And then we have those that do the same thing, but they have such amazing experiences that they can't wait to tell somebody else, like their mom or their sister, about the benefits of essential oils. And we call those our sharers. They use, or they eventually get a little bit of a paycheck so that their oils are paid for, and it lets them continue to order their products. And then we have our builders. They're the ones like myself and a couple other ladies on this call who are intentionally building this business so that we can earn an income and make an impact on more people as we do that. And so just kind of talking about the difference in the way people work. So we have our people that are in the world that are hauling buckets. They're the ones that go to a job every day. And really at this point in time, it's such a blessing to have a job, right? To have a way to provide for your family. Unfortunately, with hauling buckets and, showing up for a job every day, you're trading time for money. And so when you don't work, you don't get paid, or like you have very limited vacation time. So you can't just, do that thing where it's a really nice day out. So just kind of like not work and just spend time with your family, or, maybe go, I don't know where everybody lives, but, go away to the beach for the day. If I did that, that would be like a 3-day drive, but, or just do which actually sometimes I'm like, let's just get in the car and go. We'll just have fun getting there. But we don't really have a lot of flexibility when we work that kind of job. And then of course we have to take a little bit of that money we're making all the time and save up for our time of life when we don't work or can't work. So building a pipeline basically looks like where you are doing a little extra work so that you later don't have to. So I actually want to share a story with you really quick to explain the difference between hauling buckets and building a pipeline. So there was a man who lived in a village, and he was in charge of bringing the water to the people that lived in the village. So every day he would go miles to the water source and he would bring those buckets back, and he did that all day long, every single day. He had amazing job security because people need water, right? So he was always getting paid. Well, one of the things he started to notice is if he wanted to take time off to spend with his family, or if he was ill or anything like that, he wouldn't get paid because he wasn't hauling the buckets. So he decided in his time that he wasn't hauling buckets, so in the evenings and on the weekends, he started building a pipeline that would go from the water source to the village. And so eventually, a couple years later, him doing his due diligence and building that pipeline, he was able to turn that pipeline on and bring water from the village, or from the water source to the village, and he was able to take a break. The water flowed whether he showed up or not. So he was making money in the morning and at night when he was on vacation, or when he was spending time with his family. And so that's the difference between hauling buckets and building a pipeline. And that's really how I started in this business as well. I had a part-time job that I went to. And then in my, I was a mom of 3 kids at the time, and I homeschooled. So there wasn't a lot of free time, but I made it work because I didn't want 10 years from now for me to still be working my little clock-in job that paid $10 an hour. I wanted to be able to go on vacation and do those fun things and not worry about clocking in. So really you have to ask yourself, where are you? Are you trading hours for dollars? Do you have limited advancement and earnings where you work? Because in a traditional job, you can never make more than the CEO, right? Wouldn't that be cool if you made more money than the CEO? I used to have this joke when I started doing my business about 8 years ago. My store manager at Home Depot, they make really good money, by the way. I told him, I'm going to start a business and you just wait. In a couple of years, I'm going to make more money than you. And he thought that was the funniest thing because he thought I was talking about working at Home Depot doing that. But you have limited advancement. You can't really ever go past the person ahead of you. You're never going to make more money than your manager. And you also have limited time freedom. Recently, I got a job outside of the home because an opportunity fell in my lap to to learn and experience a different industry. That's been just an amazing learning opportunity. But one thing I've noticed is I have so much more stuff on my plate, and I have a lot less time freedom. So if it's a really nice day, I can't necessarily take my kids to the pool without planning ahead for that and making sure that I'm able to take off for them. And then also a traditional job means building other people's dreams, which there's nothing wrong with that. I actually really enjoy being part of someone else's dreams, but I have my dreams too, and I want to build those as well. So direct sales kind of give us an opportunity, but let's talk about authentic direct sales, because we all have some experience with somebody who does direct sales, right? Authentic direct sales is really where doTERRA is at, because we have true residual income. If you are doing this business, you could go past the person above you in a sense of income and rank. What they're doing doesn't have any indication or any factor as to what's going on with you. There are no limits on advancement and earnings. In fact, they made a way for people, once they get all the way to the top, they can actually do it again and get all the way to the top, and then do it again and get all the way to the top. And we have people in this business who are doing that. And a lot of people are like, when is it going to be enough? But people that do things like that have really big dreams. There's one family in particular who's doing that, and their dream was to build a university in Czech Republic where education was really bad. And so they did. They got that dream a couple years ago, and they built that university, and they pay for the teachers and the students to attend for free. So they're changing the education system in an entire country because of their income. That's big. And so there's no limits. The freedom to choose your schedule. I do a lot of my work when my kids are asleep. When I started my business, I did a ton of work when I would nurse my baby, and I would lay my baby in the bed next to me, and then I would sit there and do all my work and connect with everybody and share oils with people. So you can do that, whether you're a mom, you're homeschooling, or maybe you have another job that you go to. You can definitely set your own schedule, and then you can build your dream. I have big dreams that I want to go to and get to in the next 10 and 15 years. So that's really the other reason why I decided to do this business. So why doTERRA? Well, number one, we're the most trusted and the most tested essential oils. And the reason is because we get our essential oils from places where we're able to create a lot of consistency and the quality of essential oils, and that's what makes us most desirable for the medical and research community. We have over 8.5 million customers. That's huge. When I started 8 years ago, we had 300,000 people that ordered oils, because my ID number is like 3 with 6 digits in it. But now when I help somebody get oils, their digits are like up in the 8s, like totally almost to the 9s. That's huge. We've got so many people loving our essential oils. Doctors and hospitals use our essential oils. Did you guys know that in Cincinnati, we are actually starting a cancer integrative center with St. Elizabeth's Hospital. So our essential oils are going to be part of the practice of medicine and natural remedies coming together to help people fight cancer. So that's a really big deal. We are the largest essential oils company in the world, hands down. Nobody even comes close to us. We had a growth rate similar to Apple. We became a $1 billion company in 7 years. We have a record-breaking retention rate of 65%. What that means is that when you help somebody get oils for the first time, all those people that you work with, 65% of them are going to continue to order. So that's how we have that kind of like job security going on. We create partnerships with growers around the world. We don't own any of our farms because we don't want to take that empowerment away from the farmers. We want them to have that. So we create partnerships instead. And then we're a privately owned company. We get to make all the decisions. And then we're also debt free with no outside funding. So we've gotten to where we are by growing there, not by spending all of this money and getting loans and everything. So what do you do to make money? So I'm going to break it down because it's really easy. And a lot of times I think we overcomplicate this, but really it's just 4 things that we do over and over and over again. First, we share our essential oils with people that we want to help by giving them a sample. Number 2, we teach them how to use those essential oils by inviting them to a very basic essential oils class. And then once they've learned about the oils, we invite them to get oils into their home by helping them get their own doTERRA essential oil account. And then the 4th thing that we do is we continue to support them. So that's what we did tonight. We did continuing education. That's part of that support piece that we offer those people. That's my favorite part, if you can't tell. And then income opportunities, it really depends on how many hours you want to put into it and how much time and effort and energy you want to put into it. But if you see these 2 bottom ranks, and you don't have to remember this, not very many people do, it's totally okay, is Elite and Premier. And those are the people that are really looking to get their products paid for because they love the supplements and all the oils, and they just want to be able to pay for them out of their doTERRA income. But if you're wanting to supplement your income, which is how I started in this business, you want to shoot for silver, gold, or even platinum. Silver was where I wanted to land. Once I got there, I decided I actually wanted to replace all of my income. So that's when you would shoot for diamond and above. And so that's kind of like the different levels that we go. And what's really cool is that you don't have to, make a decision right now. You could decide to shoot for, like what I did, silver. And then maybe once you get there, you're like, I think I want to keep going. You can totally do that. There's so much flexibility. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I think I would like to supplement or maybe replace my income, be thinking about like what that means for you. What do you need that to look like? And then what we would do is take that information and line you up with that measurable goal so you know where to go and how to get there. And so I just want to share my experience about what residual income means for me, which I had never heard that term before until I started doing this business. But when I started this, we were living paycheck to paycheck, and even a little under that. We had just had our 3rd baby, and I was holding her, Lila, and she was brand new. And I was just in this place of, I don't know what's going to happen to us if we don't have something change, because our income wasn't getting better and we were having kids. We needed a bigger house. And I didn't think I could go back to work where I was and keep doing that. So I just prayed and I asked God, open a door. I will go through it. And that's what I did. Lisa, if you remember Lisa, she's in these calls quite often. She came to me one day and she's like, I am going to do this doTERRA business. And I said, I'll do it with you. Because I had just said, I will walk through any door you open. And so I did. I walked through that door. And it's been so amazing. Not only have I replaced the income from my part-time job, but now this paycheck is my sole income and is providing for me and my kids, because unfortunately my life took a huge shift last year. And so I became a single mom with 4 kids with the same bills that I was responsible for. And so with this income and then me getting a job outside the home, also doing the thing I love, which is taking care of people in the wellness industry, then I was able to provide for my family. If it weren't for this income with doTERRA, I wouldn't have been able to take this job. I would have had to go get a 40-hour-a-week job doing the thing that I'm trained in, which is administrative assistance in an office. Who knows what kind of office? So I was able to get a job in the wellness industry instead, which has been really exciting and very educational for me. So that's really what residual income means for me, is being able to take care of my family and knowing that every single month I'm going to be paid. And it's been a huge blessing for me. And so that's why I do what I do, so that it can be that for you as well, no matter where you want to land on that scale. So how much time is involved? This is a really important question. I'm going to be really honest with you here. So if you want to get your products paid for, you're looking at about 3 to 5 hours a week. If you are wanting to supplement your income, that's about 10 to 15 hours a week. So that's what I was doing. If you want to replace your income, you really do have to look at it like a job and work between 15 and 30 hours a week. Now, sometimes, like where I'm at in my business, I can take a week off if I need to. When I had my last baby, my 4th baby, I was able to take a whole month off. So that was really nice, but that's where residual income comes in. So if you're wondering if this could work for you, just ask these questions. If you need to take time to really think on them, or maybe even journal about them, I recommend that. Are you passionate about oils? If you're in a continuing education class, you are probably passionate about oils. Do you care about people and their situation in life, and you want to give them that support and that help? Can you follow a system and get things done? That's probably the most important thing, because this is a business that you do on your own. You don't clock in, you don't have a boss telling you when to show up. So you have to have some discipline and some self-motivation to do the things. But what's really cool is that we have an amazing tried and true system in place to make sure that you know what to do. So what is the next step? First, identify what type of person you are. If you listen to what I just had to say and you're thinking, I still want to just be a user of the essential oils, totally fine. We want to keep supporting you in that. But if you're thinking, I'd like to share these oils so I get a little bit of income, or I want to work to replace that, you need to let us know, because we need to know how to help get you that direction and support. And then you can either attend a Business Made Easy presentation, which we're going to start doing those here pretty soon on Friday mornings, or just get on the phone with myself and the person that brought you into the doTERRA world. And we'll just kind of do a deeper dive into how doTERRA can fit into your life as a business, and kind of figure out what your goals are and your dreams, and how we can help that work for you. And then you want to get connected. We have an amazing tried and true system called dailymentorcalls.com. Every day it gives you a little bit to do to push the needle forward on your business, so that you can learn how to effectively share essential oils with others, so that you have a thriving and growing business. So one thing I just want to leave you with is, and suddenly you just knew it was time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. And that was definitely where I was 8 years ago, holding my brand new 3rd baby, knowing something had to change. And this happened to be the thing that did it for me. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Does anybody have any really quick questions that they want to ask? Okay. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to go put my kids to bed. I will see you next week.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.